Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about 3 people who all unexpectedly received some good news. Today's Bible story comes from the book of Luke. Long ago, in a city called Nazareth, there lived a young woman named Mary. Mary loved and trusted God with all her heart. Mary was engaged to be married to a man named Joseph. He was a carpenter and a really good guy. And just like Mary, Joseph also loved and trusted God with all his heart. One day, Mary decided to take a trip to visit her cousin Elizabeth. Something unbelievably amazing had happened to Mary. She'd seen an angel. One night, she'd been at home when an angel suddenly appeared. And that wasn't even the craziest part. The angel had told her that he had some good news for her, a message straight from God. Mary couldn't wait to tell Elizabeth all about it. Elizabeth was Mary's cousin, and she was married to a man named Zacharias. Zacharias was a priest. He and Elizabeth both loved God. Elizabeth and Zacharias were also older than Mary, a lot older. They didn't have any children, they just hadn't been able to have any, and now that they were old and elderly, they would never get to have children. It just wasn't possible. Or was it? Once Mary made it to Elizabeth and Zacharias' house, the 2 cousins hugged and greeted each other. Mary also greeted Zacharias with a warm hello. He smiled, but said nothing. Thinking he hadn't heard her, Mary greeted him again. "Hello, Zacharias." Again, he said nothing. He just smiled. Mary thought Zacharias' behavior was a bit strange. "Oh, don't mind him," said Elizabeth. "He doesn't mean to be rude. There's a perfectly logical explanation for his behavior. He saw an angel." "I saw one too. He came to me and told me he had some good news straight from the Lord." "Elizabeth, I'm pregnant. Can you believe it?" Mary exclaimed. "Actually, I do believe it," Elizabeth said, "because I'm pregnant too. Zacharias and I are having a baby." Elizabeth was overjoyed. Once again, Zacharias smiled, but remained silent. "I know, the angel told me," said Mary. "It was such a surprise since you're so old," Elizabeth finished. She laughed. "Yes, I'm too old to have a baby, and so is Zacharias. And that's what makes this a miracle. Mary, we have so much to talk about. Come on in and sit down. I know you must be tired from your trip." She led Mary into her home. Mary followed and said, "I'm too excited to be tired. I really want to tell you what happened to me, but you go first. Tell me all about your angel." "Okay," said Elizabeth. "So about 6 months ago, Zacharias was in the temple performing his duties when all of a sudden an angel appeared before him. The angel told Zacharias that I would become pregnant and that this would be no ordinary child." Elizabeth softly patted her belly. "This baby will be special. God is sending a Messiah to save the world, and this baby will prepare everyone for the Savior." "Oh my goodness," said Mary. "The angel I saw told me that my baby will be great. He'll also be a king, and this baby is the Son of God, and he's going to save the world." "Elizabeth, I can't even begin to find the words to say how happy I am. I feel so honored that God chose me to carry his son." "I think I know how you feel," said Elizabeth. "I mean, I've wanted a child for a very long time, but I got so old that it seemed impossible. But not only is God giving me a son, He's giving my son an important job to do. I'm so happy." Mary said, "I'm happy for you too, but..." She paused. "You never explained why Zacharias isn't talking." "Oh," Elizabeth exclaimed. "Well, after the angel told him that I was pregnant, Zacharias had a hard time believing it because of our age. So the angel said that since he doubted God, he won't be able to talk again until the baby is born. So he's got about 3 months left." "I guess sometimes we have to learn lessons the hard way," said Mary. "That's right," said Elizabeth. "I'm sure you'll think twice about doubting God again, won't you, Zacharias?" Zacharias just smiled and said nothing. So, in today's story, Mary, Elizabeth, and Zacharias all received great news. How do you feel when you get good news? Or what do you do when you hear good news? Most people feel excited or happy when they receive great news. Mary and Elizabeth were thankful, but Zacharias reacted differently. He couldn't believe that he was going to become a first-time father when men his age were grandfathers and even great-grandfathers. And even though Zacharias had been praying and asking God for a child, he still couldn't believe it was happening because his faith was weak. And that weak faith left him unable to speak for almost an entire year. I'm sure Zacharias used the quiet time to think, and I'm sure that all of that thinking helped him learn a very important lesson. God can do anything, even the impossible. Thanks for watching and have a great week. See you next time.